Hello and welcome to episode 8 of the Project Rend update series. My name is Dizzy. I am the builder developer of Project Rend, and I'm very pleased to announce that this video marks the almost 1.0 update of Project Rend. It has reached a very good state where it is very publicly available. You no longer have to come to the Discord. I have a website now that's ready. I'm going to show that off, and I'm going to show you some of the new features that have been built. I think critically and most important to announce at the top is that after you get this latest version of the app from the website, which you will have to go to the website to get it. I did that for some important notation reasons. Then you will no longer have to go to the Discord or anything like that in order to download updates to the app. Every time I release an update, the app will look and check for the update every few hours, and then once it sees it, it will prompt you to download it inside of the app. There's a green button that will appear at the top right. And then from there, you can just keep updating every time I push something out, and you don't have to come back to the website again, until which time I release a web-based version, which is probably several months at least into the future. But I do want to make sure that our Mac and Linux friends are taken care of as well, since this is a Windows-based app at current. Before I get any further, if you don't know what I'm talking about and you're like, what is this Project Rend thing? I see the tower, I know what that is. Very quickly, Project Rend is a all-encompassing kind of comprehensive app for the tower. It tracks basically every piece of information that you put into it. Some of it is easier than other things to put in, but the idea behind it is that when you put in, what your module states are, what your cards are, and then you record a run, the app will know, okay, so when you did this run, this is the state of your amplifying strike, this is your modules, this is the card levels that you had, and then it records all the stuff from the post-run stat sheet in here into each individual run, which can be used for really deep analytics. Compare and contrast different changes that you've made, things that you've done. You can see certain really cool things in the data. So this farming page is where I think most people spend most of their time, but there is a lot of stuff in here that some of it I'll go over today. But if you are interested in a very full tutorial, friend of the channel and another YouTube creator, Tequila Man, recently made a tutorial video with very little input from me. I just approved it. He did everything himself. If you're interested in all of the click path features within the tool, I'm going to point you to his video first. I may choose to make a tutorial video myself, but for now that is an excellent video and one I highly recommend you look into. Going back to the homepage, a couple housekeeping items at the top before I get into clicking through the app. Number one, I want to announce that I removed every capability that relied on OCR from the app on purpose. It was preventing me from pushing new updates. It was causing me a lot of issues. There was just a lot of challenges associated with using OCR that were inherently causing me a lot of time pushed into maintaining it, because every time I would change something, I would have to go back and fix it. And now I can kind of walk away from all of that and make the app a little bit more streamlined and making updates a little bit easier for me. That means that we lose not just the adding of runs via screenshot, which I don't think we really need anymore, but also adding of modules to the app, which was a really cool feature. I'm going to miss it very much. I'm really sorry if it's disappointing, but I had to do this in order to keep Project Rend moving forward. A couple things before I call this 1.0. I want to get all of the basic workshop costs into the app. They're not in here yet, so there's some faux costs in here. They're not super accurate. Some of them are, but most of them are not. I want to get those in. All of the new labs and their costs and time durations for version 27, I need to get them in. I have all of the data on hand. I just need to process it. It is quite a process to get it in, so I just haven't prioritized that over certain bug fixes and making sure the app can self-update and have the website online. Last is the assist module feature. So if you are using assist modules, if you're at that point of the game, Rend currently does not support that, but in the next major release, I'm going to put that in. I've figured out how I want to do it. I just have to build it, but that is, again, another major feature update that could break other things, and I wanted to make sure that this release got out such that you could use it, and then I can get to assist modules next, and that won't block me putting updates out. There is another secret update or feature that we're working on that I'm not super ready to announce yet, because I'm not quite sure that it'll work, but I think if we do figure it out, it is very compelling, it's interesting, it's exciting. I'm just going to tease it a little bit now, and more on that once I'm ready to talk about it, and that means when I'm confident that it works. To start this latest update, so version 0.18, so the last video I posted was 0.09. I released 0.17 on the 17th of September. I had to iterate the number a bunch of times to get the updater to test, but really this is kind of like the 0.10 version that I've been talking about. But for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to keep the version number where it is so that I can keep everything kind of moving forward. The last installer that I released, because this is an installed app instead of a portable one, it would not, or it took a really long time to install. I fixed all of that. Now it should be very quick. On my machine, it takes about 5 seconds. On other people, it takes about a minute, which is much better than the 5+ minutes it was taking on the last version. Before I leave the homepage, because there isn't really anything that I've updated in here besides a couple little bugs, is the import data. So there's been some work in here to add just CSV uploads, which can handle quite a bit here. And then there's HTML from some of the more popular run tracking websites. If you are not a Windows user, if you don't want to download this app, I actually would point you towards using towerruntracker.com. That is a app, or a website I should say, by JD. He is one of the mods in the main Discord. He's built a really cool tool that is web-based and can service all. I would definitely point you there if Project Rend doesn't work for you, because it happens to be Windows and desktop based, then please go there. But if you're wanting to come from there, I've built tooling around being able to pull data back out of it. So if you want to pull HTML, or if you want to download your file as a CSV, I'll do HTML from here, and I'm going to paste it. So this is just, if I follow the instructions, this is what I get out of it. And from here, there are runs that I already had. So I put in this latest update that I released yesterday, this error protection that says, hey, you might be importing something that looks exactly or very similar to an existing run. Please check. And so here's your opportunity to look and say, I do or do not want to import duplicates. And if you don't, you can uncheck them, and it's smart enough to know you've actually got nothing here, so I'm not going to do anything for you. So, there's a lot of error checking in here that blocks you from making mistakes and duplicating your runs. I want to call that out before I move on here. From here, I want to talk about all of the vast improvements that I've made to the farming page. The farming page has seen quite a few updates and changes with the way that you pull in a new run. So if I were to try to get onto a new run, I would typically copy from a game from the end of a run screen. So we'll just pretend for the moment that I just finished a run, because I'm not looking to end a run right in the middle here. And historically, or during the last major update, version 9, I would tell you to paste and parse. Instead, now you can hit this paste and parse button. So this might be very popular for people who are signing in via some mobile remote desktop, which is what I often do. And then you can, as soon as you hit paste and parse, it pulls it from your clipboard and everything gets added in here. I also added support so that it handles any of the 12, or I guess 11 plus simplified Chinese languages that the game will support. So when you finish a run, your post-run screen will be in another language if you use the game in another language. I'm not going to change Rend to be in another language yet. That's way too much work. I'm not ready for that. There's much more that I would want to accomplish before doing that. So now I can handle any of those languages, because I've changed the system that is just saying on row 1, we're always going to get game time. On row 3, we're always going to get, I don't know what this was, probably wave. And from there, we can, parse anything in any language. So I can't change Rend to be in, but if you're, non-English first language speaker in your language, but I can make it so that you can play your game in that language and then handle stuff from here. I know it's not perfect, but it is, the increasing level of support for non-English speakers that I'm working to get into the app from an accessibility standpoint. Beyond that, there's also this much needed feature, in my opinion, something that I thought was really cool, where you can kind of turn on the fast add mode, and it will let you know it's got this red, very bright icon here. So okay, I'm in the safety is off mode. And if you hit fast add, so I've just copied one of my runs from another sheet that I had, and it will immediately add it right in. This is an old run, so I'm not going to keep it, but for the sake of demonstration, just so you can see, it's one button. So you click the game, you click copy stats, and you click this, and you're done. Your stats are in Rend, and you can move on. I've also made some changes to the top of this screen and a couple little ones in the bottom here. Most importantly is I added this whole second row of cards here, so they can give you kind of a good sense for how much coin income you're making, what your cells look like. So this may help you make decisions about how many labs you can speed up and at what speed. I might put something in here to show you or tell you, you can handle 3 4s and 2 3s or whatever it may be. And, and then your dice, okay, I need to do a reroll in the next few days. How much dice am I going to make before I want to get to, let's say you're doing an ancestral, maybe you want 500,000 to 1 million. Now it's going to take you 10 days in my case. I've also changed the math on weekly coin earn rate. Now it takes the best day that you've had, so the whole day added together, times 7, instead of your best run times 24 times 7. So this gives you a more honest rate that, isn't sensitive to kind of the variance of, you have one really good run and then maybe one lesser good run. So this is day versus night run for me, but this way you get kind of the overall variance of what your day consists of, and then you can kind of much better predict how many coins you're going to have. So a week from now, I should have an extra 43 quadrillion coins on top of my 16. So pretty good. It's certainly going to be helpful since I'm in the middle of maintaining 3 mastery labs, which are quite expensive, and I definitely need to know if I can support keeping these running or if I have to turn one off or whatever. Before I move any further on, I want to show the website real quick and talk about how to download Project Rend. So Project Rend is now a website. I want you to come in here and sign in with Discord, and this will block you from downloading until you sign in with Discord, and then you can download from Windows. From there, the app will just self-update all the way into the future, and then you'll never have to kind of come back to it. So next, I want to talk about the small change that I made in here. So the average per last 2 runs, I added this duration column here and also your dice stuff. So now you can tell how long should I expect this run to take. So I'm farming tier 14 lately, so I'm going to do 3 since that's, in my opinion, a little more honest. So my tier 14 runs are about 4, almost 5 hours, split the difference. And so I know that if I'm going to go to bed at 10 o'clock and at 6 o'clock, I can maybe get away with running one more before calling it and switching over to 13 for my night run. Just another little helpful thing for you to help make your decisions a little bit more quickly. I also took away the checkboxes in the run history. They were kind of causing some confusion, and I moved the trash can into each row. This keeps you from, they were affecting how these were filtering, so now I kind of want the filters to all be up here instead. So that was kind of a design decision that I wanted to make. I did the same thing with the tournament run history, same idea. All of the stuff is up here now. Nothing else has meaningfully changed other than I moved all the buttons to the top and kind of simplified stuff down below. Analytics, not much has changed yet. There is work being done to make a lot more data science and cool predictions and recommendations and stuff from there, but that is well into the future. I've still been focusing on the foundation of what makes Project Rend, and getting all of your data in. Workshop, not much has changed in here. I did add the levels for the new Workshop Plus items, and then from there, I need to add the basic cost still. Ultimates haven't changed. Modules, I added 2 things in here. I had to get rid of the global level update. I'm probably going to bring that back, but for now each module is managed individually, so you can kind of manage what is an assist module for you. I also made it so that it can predict what the bonus is for each of your modules based on the level and the rarity combined together, because both of those affect how much damage, for example, my amplifying strike is going to give me. The last big change I want to call out is the settings page, or I guess these 2 things here, settings and helpful links. I added this custom theme color changer. So now if you want to have something that's, I made a couple ones that are my own, and people are especially fond of this Outrun theme, which is pretty cool. Everything changes when you change the theme. So this one is very Hotline Miami. I've seen a lot of people really gravitate towards this one. This is different, but if you're I don't like any of these, I want to use a custom one, you can change your button color to be whatever you want. So if you prefer nothing that I've put in here, then you can, make your own. I haven't given full control because there's about 30 different metrics for colors that are managed inside the app. I tried to pick just the big ones to make it easy enough for you to figure out. I might add stuff here. I might ask people to share their custom themes. Maybe people have good ideas on things I should add for full-time promoted ones. But for now, I've wanted to give some more color features, and it's been a lot of fun. People seem to be really liking it. Last on the list is the helpful links page. So I made this page of different YouTubers and creators, different community tools that are out there, the Tech Tree website and their web store, and of course the things associated with Project Rend are in here as well. So all of that's kind of been updated from here, and if you think that you want to see someone else that's on here, if you want to add your page and you're a creator, please let me know. I'm more than happy to add anyone who is a creator for anything around the tower in here, and I expect this page will grow over time. That being said, if you are still with me at this point in the video, I really appreciate you. Please hit like if you like the video, subscribe, and share if you know anyone who you think you should use Project Rend. I'm very happy to see this community grow. We're well over 1,000 people that are using the app now, which is shocking, rewarding, and very unexpected. But I'd love to see that go up, even further. I'm not making any money here. This is all just kind of something that I wanted to do, and I want people to want to use it. So if there are improvements that you think it should be made, or things that you need changed, or if you find a bug, then please, either drop me a message on here as a comment, or find me in Discord. I'm more than happy to chat. I'm very responsive. I generally will answer people's queries and bug fix requests within 24 hours, if not sooner, depending on how easy the bug is to fix. Until that time, thank you so much for joining me on this latest update. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Talk to you soon. Bye.